Hi everyone, it's Rachel, and in this video I'll be showing you how to make this kawaii bucket hat cat using polymer clay. This charm is super cute with all its little frog accessories, so let's get straight into the tutorial. To begin, you want to take the colour that you're going to be making your cat. I am going to be using this ecru coloured clay for mine. Begin by rolling some of this clay into a ball for the head, and then take a smaller ball of clay and roll it into a teardrop shape on your work surface for the body. As you can see, I trimmed off the pointed part with my blade so that I had a flat surface to work with, and then I connected the head and the body together, blending down the edges with my needle tool. Next up, to create the face, firstly make 2 indents where you would like the eyes to go, and then you can add in 2 balls of black or a dark coloured clay. Position 2 small U-shapes of clay in the centre of the face for the mouth, and then also attach on a little nose. To finish off the face, you can also add some whiskers on either side. Moving on, we are going to be creating the legs for our cat. So begin with 4 small balls of clay and roll each of these into a long kind of teardrop shape on your work surface. So starting with the front legs or the arms, take a blade and trim off some of the thicker part on an angle so that you can easily attach them to each side of the body. Then for the back legs, I'm using a round cookie cutter to trim off the top part before then attaching these on. And I used a round cookie cutter because it was a similar shape to the round body and it gives me a nice flat surface to work with. Now that we've made our cat, it's now time to move on to the frog theme details. So I'm going to be making the bucket hat first. Take some bright green polymer clay and roll an oval on your work surface and then trim it in half with your blade. Take 1/2 and sit it on top of a ball tool where we are going to be forming or creating the bucket hat. To make the rim of the hat, roll some of that same green colour into a long snake and then flatten this down with a clay roller. You can trim off any uneven sides using a blade and then begin by wrapping this around the top part of the hat that we added to the ball tool. Once you make it all the way around the hat with that piece of clay, trim off any excess and then it's time to start blending this onto the top part of the hat. You can do the blending with any of your tools, or you could also use your finger to smooth it all out. When you are happy with how it looks, you can then remove the hat from your ball tool and begin pinching the rim slightly to give it a nice hat-looking shape. Now this part here did feel quite mean, but to make sure that my hat sat nicely on top of my cat's head, I did have to trim off the very top part of the head, so you might be needing to do this as well. Once I trimmed off that piece of clay, I was then able to position on the hat and it sat really nicely. Now we are going to add the frog details to the hat. So beginning with the eyes, I flattened down 2 balls of polymer clay and I'm trimming off a small piece using my round cookie cutter before then placing them on top of the hat and blending them down. Next, I took a small dotting tool and I made 2 indents before then adding 2 balls of dark brown clay for the eyes, a thin little U-shape piece of clay for the mouth, and also some pink pieces of clay for the cheeks. So that is the bucket hat all done. I'm now moving on to making the little frog bag this time. So as you can see, I have a larger ball of clay prepared for the actual bag, and then I'm creating the 2 eyes here on my work surface, which I then very carefully positioned on and blended down so that they stayed nice and secure. I wanted the frog bag to match the hat, so I also made a tiny little mouth and added those 2 pink balls of polymer clay for the cheeks as well. You'll then want to make a handle or a strap for the bag. So roll a very thin piece of green polymer clay on your work surface and flatten it down, very similar to the way that we created the rim of the bucket hat at the beginning of the video. Start by attaching the strap on the front of the body and wrap it all the way over the arm and around the back, and then just trim off any excess clay with your blade. When you are happy with how the strap is positioned, you can then go ahead and attach on the little frog bag. The final detail we need to add is the cat's tail. So roll a piece of your cat colored clay on your work surface and you can bend it slightly with your fingers, then just go ahead and position it where you would like. If you would like to make your design into a charm, you can go ahead and add an eye pin, and then it's time to bake it in your oven according to your package's instructions. After baking, I took some super glue and I'm using this to secure the eye pin inside the clay, and I also added a layer of UV resin as my glaze for shine and protection. So here is what my little frog bucket hat cat charm ended up looking like. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel for lots more crafty videos, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.